This here is the DC Defenders Show on United Football Media. We are your homegrown DMV crew coming at you, me and Tay. What a week to be a DC Defenders fan, a DC Defenders player, part of the DC Defenders family, because damn it, if anybody looks at you in your face and tells you that the DC Defenders are now not the number one team in the UFL, then they are a fool. They deserve to get treated the way Samson Nakua treated that fan in Michigan. 5 fingers, say to the face, slap. That's what you need to do. Because this team is number one. We have taken down every other team that has been ranked number one. And in this week, we did so in an as impressive a fashion as one can imagine. A comeback in their home stadium. It's a beautiful thing, and I expect Rowdy Audi to be rocking for the next matchup. Tay, hell of a game on Sunday. Unbelievable stuff. I guess we'll start right up front. You know, our guy Jordan Tiamu pretty much took over this game, was responsible for bringing them back, was escaping pressure, was making throws, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, ran the ball very effectively as well. Hell of a performance by him, and you're not making a comeback like this without your quarterback stepping up. And he took over the game. Did a phenomenal job. Shouts to Jordan Tiamu. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Jordan Tiamu was definitely one of the main reasons why we won this game. You know, we came out flat in the first quarter, in beginning of the second quarter. They were up like 18. They were up a lot early on, and it just looked like the Renegades were having their way. They were doing whatever they wanted. But you know, they came out in halftime and they did what the Renegades do. They just look like a completely different team. They look like last year's team. I mean, they only got 2 field goals in the second half. They were up by a lot, but you know, you gotta keep it going. And the Renegades did not do that, and defenders took complete advantage of that. I mean, Jordan Tiamu, I would say he played his best game. He had 300 yards. He had the most rushing yards in the team as well. So, I mean, yeah, he stepped it up. He's honestly stepped it up. I mean, we're beating all the good teams. We got one bad loss, but I mean, it is what it is.
We got one more good team left to go, and that's going to happen this weekend.
Yeah.
I do want to call attention to, because you said, and it is correct, the rushing game was pretty shut down, but I think a lot of that had to do with game flow because Arlington got ahead so fast. Yeah. I do want to mention that our guy Deion Jackson did have 5.5 yards a carry on 6 carries. So he was doing really, really well. There just wasn't that many opportunities to run the ball because we were behind by 100 points right off the bat. Yeah. So moving on to other people stepping up in the game, our guy Chris Rowland, man, he has really, really emerged in this offense as a phenomenal slot player. He had 12 targets, 7 catches this week and a touchdown, a 76 PFF grade. Can't ask for more, man. Chris Rowland has really, really emerged from a guy that was kind of like a slot gadget guy, return man, to like one of the linchpins of this offense, 100%, especially with Ty Scott going down, man. He has really stepped up, did a phenomenal job this week. Braylon Sanders continuing to emerge. You would like a little bit better catch percent. He had 8 targets, only caught 3 of them, but 3 for 81, making big plays, a touchdown, keeping us in this game. I love it. A guy we mentioned earlier in the season, Jovan Antonio, basically in his rookie season out of Deion Sanders' Colorado Buffaloes. He's improving more and more every single week. 4 catches on 5 targets, only 30 yards, but the guy has been a super reliable, big body chain mover. So I am excited to see him continue to develop as time has gone on. You've had thoughts about the receiving group the whole time, Tay. Thoughts on our man Chris Rowland, this whole group coming forward. I mean, to have a big comeback against a real good team like Arlington with missing Ty Scott, and we thought the receiver group was going to kind of bomb out after that, or I had questions at least. Pretty damn awesome to see what they were able to put together this week and the emergence of some of these guys.
Yeah, Yeah, Chris Rowland, he was kind of expected to step up, after Ty Scott going down. And I mean, he's been doing that. He's been doing exactly that. He's been getting open. He's been available for his quarterback. I mean, we passed the ball 40 times a game, so the receivers must be doing something. So, yeah, I mean, we'll be just fine. Like the receiver room is just fine. I feel like it's next man up. We dealt with some injuries and haven't missed a beat. I mean, we're learning new guys, we're learning the new names, we're learning players that we, just didn't play early on. They're playing now, and they're actually good. They're actually, they're actually a piece on this team that we need, especially at this point in the season, with no Ty Scott. So all I have to do is just continue doing them, Teamu. As much as we want his passing attempts to reduce, I mean, if we're gonna pass the ball that much, we're gonna need a lot of guys out there, keeping fresh. We got about 5 or 6 receivers, I say, I'm comfortable with out there. So yeah, I'm happy with the receiving room. I have no questions about it. If Ty Scott comes back, it'll just make it even better. So yeah, they're doing just fine this year.
Obviously, a bit of a tough week for the defense, given the points given up and the way that the game went. Our guy Anthony Hines, 65 PFF while playing 62 snaps, pretty damn impressive. DeAndre Baker and Kelvin Joseph both also had solid games, very high snap counts, PFF grades in the 60s. Our guy Joe Wallace again with a sack and 4 pressures from the interior defensive tackle spot. I also definitely did one on a very crucial third down. Joe Wallace making plays. I also believe that Joe Wallace managed to get punched in this game, which gave us a penalty. It took a first down off the board or did something crucial during the game. So appreciate him for that too. You just can't handle the smoke from Joe Wallace. So some decent standout performances on defense. I know that's not what they want to have after. But hey, you're going against Arlington. That's one of the best offenses in the league. It happens. They were able to do enough to keep us in things there in the fourth quarter, so I will absolutely take it. Crucial interception at a point late in the game as well. So hey, we want less points, right? We don't want what we saw, but hey, you make the plays to get the dub. Mm-hmm. I'm still going to appreciate you. On the other side, the offensive line had themselves a phenomenal game, especially our guy Yasir Durant, an 80 PFF grade. Pretty much everybody had a pass blocking grade at 70 plus. Excellent. This is the best pass blocking line in the league. They were able to cut down the penalties and some of the shenanigans that happened last week against the Brahmas to come back to have another stellar performance. There aren't really any weak links on this offensive line. Liam Fornadell's come back and fit right back in, doing great. Yasir Durant is having probably the best season that he's had so far. Our guy Jahari Branch coming up from the Fishers Freight, doing some good contributions. Michael Mayetti, of course, doing his thing. Very, very balanced performance. 70 PFF, 68 and a 71 for the run and pass block grades. Super, super happy with the center play. The defense, the offensive line. Thoughts, Tay? What stood out to you?
The line has been great all year, both sides of the ball. I mean, I really have no complaints, honestly. O-line, I definitely have no complaints. So about us giving up a lot of points, it's you don't want your opponent to score 33, but I do understand sometimes like you start off slow, and if you're gonna start off slow, you have to do the exact opposite, in the second half. Like I feel like that's every sport, So a bad first half has to be a good second half if you want to win. That's exactly what happened. Defense gave up 27 in the first half, and they gave up 6 in the second half. Like that's just how it has to be sometimes. And then offense knowing, okay, well, their offense is scoring. That's the offense's job too. So, even if the defense isn't holding their end of the bargain at a certain point in the game, you still got to go out and do your job too. And I think it all came together in the second half. Holding them to only 6 points. 2 field goals, and we scored 22 in the second half after 15-point second quarter. So, the offense already like figured it out in the second quarter and just went on from there. And the defense flipped the switch and got ourselves a comeback win.
I do got to say, bring up that our guy Derek Robertson also had a sack during this game, as well as Joe Wallace. So the studs that we name, they keep showing up. And the secondary, the corners, can't say enough about them, man. They're out there on the island all the time. It's even more impressive in that way in this defensive system, that they're still managing to get the grades that they get and play the caliber of play that they do. And like you said, it's tough. This is a tough first half points wise, but hey, if the talent isn't there, we wouldn't be holding them to 6 in the second half. So I'm not mad about it. That's a good way to mentally lock in and recover, come back out and play your game in the second half. And that's really, toughness, grit, physicality, not being afraid of that kind of stuff. This is what we've talked about with this team from the beginning. And another great showing for this coaching staff, honestly, Blake Williams, not going in the tank after the Arlington smoked them in the first half, points wise. And Coach Harris, in a game like this where somebody comes back on you, a lot of times you would assume the comeback team may or may not have outcoached the other side, and saying that you led a comeback like this against Bob Stoops, pretty damn impressive, Coach Harris. Love it, love it, love it. If anyone still thinks that this maybe isn't the best team in the UFL, if they think they have anything left to prove, even after you have Samson Nakua slapped them across the mouth, this is the week right here, because we got one good team, one real good team left in the league that the DC Defenders have not beat yet, and we are playing them this week at their house. It is the Michigan Lions. The Michigan Panthers, excuse me, in the Lions Stadium. The Michigan Panthers. And unfortunately for us, Mike Nolan has announced that the quarterback swap out shenanigans have come to an end, and that it will be Bryce Perkins the whole way. This is going to be a big referendum, man. This is going to be a challenge, because to me, the Panthers offense is kind of similar to Arlington's in that, they got a solid quarterback. They got some stud receivers across the board. They'll obviously be without Samson Nakua this week. But they've got stud receivers across the board. They can spread it out to. They got, for my money, the MVP of the league, the most badass quarterback in the league, and Bryce Perkins, who was going to get all the snaps this week and who played his best game last week. To me, this is the same song we were singing against St. Louis. We got to come hard. We got to come fast. We got to make him uncomfortable right off the bat. We have got to give this the best effort we possibly have in our hearts. Same thing with St. Louis. Same thing. They had this big-time offense. They had an MVP caliber quarterback. It was concerning, and we came out and we were on their ass. Sorry, Ace. They were on their ass from the jump, and that is what we need in this game against Bryce Perkins. Make them uncomfortable right off the bat. Because if you let Bryce Perkins start doing his Michael Jordan crap all over this game like he does, it's going to be problems. It's going to be trouble. Bring that same intensity. Bring the same sense of urgency that we saw against St. Louis. And that is going to be the key to keeping this in check and letting us roll. Because Michigan has a good defense too. I don't think Michigan's defense is going to be as susceptible to a comeback if we make the same mistakes that we made in the first half against Arlington. I think Michigan is a much better defense. They're going to be much tougher to come back against if the situation dictates that. So let's not even let it get there. It might be, I don't expect us to dominate. It might be a heavyweight battle. It might be throwing blows back and forth. But be on them, be in their face, be stepping on their throat from the beginning. That's going to be the key against the Michigan Panthers this week. What are your thoughts on key matchups and what we got to shut down this week, Tay?
Honestly, they don't have any weak links, so we got to play our best game. We can't go down by 100 and try to come back. No. That's not gonna work. So Bryce Perkins is probably the best quarterback, right now. So we're gonna have to play our best game. Start off running the ball. Don't get behind. Like mix in some play actions. Get to the quarterback. I mean, that's how we've been winning so far. So I mean, we shouldn't play their game. We need to play our game. So just do what we've been doing, and we should get it should be a close game, but we should. I've been liking us in the close game scenarios recently. So
because that's really what we want. What we've talked about from the beginning. What's the two situations where we've been in trouble, right? We didn't control the ball against Arlington, and it took this Herculean effort to come back. And then it was all the penalties. Like, to play a ball control type offense where we run the ball, we run RPO, we run off the play action, we move the quarterback around. You got to play clean, and you can't have a bunch of mistakes. And we had a ton of penalties against San Antonio, and a sloppy special teams touchdown that was allowed. That's what's going to do it. We ain't going to win that. That's not a winning formula that way either. So, like you said, this defense is not going to be susceptible to a comeback the way that Arlington's was. So we have to control this ball early. And some stuff in the running game is working, and it can work. Deion Jackson is getting better and better every single week, man. But we got to contain Bryce Perkins. And I know they're planning for it. It's tough because scrambling quarterbacks have given us a hard time throughout the year. So you'll see Mariner is still over there, still going to do some things, I think, even though we have the good corners. He's really, really good against man press coverage, deep balls. This is a dangerous, dangerous matchup. We have to control Bryce Perkins right off the bat, keep the ball control, keep the ball in our hands, get this running game rolling, play mistake-free football. Tay, any last thoughts on this game coming up or the season going forward?
I feel like we all know the defenders are going to the playoffs now. I feel like I got laughed at a little bit for saying that, but it's clear now. It's clear. Everyone sees it. So that's all I got to say.
I just hope it's funny because I feel like every week the exact things that we say on this show, both bad or good, is what happens in the game. So we'll be sitting there watching this game on Sunday, and it'll be like bam, 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 16 points. The Panthers are ahead, and now we're not running the ball, and now it's out of control. Like, well, there it is. Said it. I told you what was going to happen. Or, in a good way, like it was against the Battlehawks. We said, come bring the fire right off the bat. They were smashing on them right off the bat. They had them committing to the run right off the bat, and then they were able to run off of it and make some big plays. Yeah. So here we go. Hope it's in the positive way this week. Like I said, this is pretty much the last hill to climb. This is the last good team in the league that the DC Defenders have not beat yet. So let's take this. It's ironic since we're going against the Panthers. Let's take this belt home and hang it above our mantle as well, so that nobody can say anything else going forward. We already took the hooves, took the horseshoes off the Stallions. We already clipped the wings of the Battlehawks. We already took the cowboy hat and the belt buckle and the sheriff badge off those punk renegades. Got all that hanging up in our trophy room. Let's get this Panther pelt taken care of this week, and then there will be no more words. There will be no more argument. There probably shouldn't be right now. The DC Defenders are the best team in the league. Let's see them prove it this week once again. Tune in noon Sunday, Fox. DC Defenders laying it down. This right here, as always, if you want something else covered lay it down in the comments. We will jump all over it. This show is for the people, by the people. This is the DC Defenders show on United Football Media.